And finally, another reason for my bright optimism this morning, it took 2 years, a lot of collaboration between the trustees and the Senate, and thank you, Carol, for the role that you played. But we managed to hammer out a policy, conduct a search, and hire a chancellor, an outstanding chancellor, a proven leader, a well-grounded visionary. Dr. Ortiz is just getting to know Peralta, but already he is well aware of its prodigious promise as well as its ingrained problems. And he is bright, he's thoughtful, he's calm, he's very strong, and above all, he is a proven leader. Now, I just gave you my perception of Peralta's weather this morning, and soon you will hear from Chancellor Jose Ortiz, and he's here to share with you his long-range forecast for Peralta and all the changes he foresees in the Peralta climate. You know, good luck to all of you, and have a really great year. Thank you.
Just briefly, I'll add to the comments that President Glossa just made about the next person you'll be hearing from. If the word that I mentioned earlier, change, is the one word that we need to all be aware of consciously at all times now, it's also the word that the current chancellor came in speaking loudly and clearly. And it is a great deal of hope that we have welcomed him in that function as chancellor, because we know he is, in my words, our brightest hope for change in Peralta. I am pleased to have the opportunity to work with Dr. Ortiz. He was the Vice President of Instruction when I first started working at Laney, and was partly involved, I'm certain, in hiring me. And it is even more a pleasure, now that he's Chancellor, to continue to work with him, because I don't know of anyone I've ever worked with whom I feel as simpatico or as collegial or as trusting as I do of Chancellor Jose Ortiz. It is my pleasure to introduce him to you again.
Good morning, everyone. I remember my days when I'm in the audience, in these flex days. By the time the chancellor got up here, I wanted to get out. But now that I am the chancellor, lock the doors. Those of you who know me, of course, know it's always a little awkward for me to hear the accolades and the nice, kind words that I hear from Trustee Glossa and certainly my colleagues on the faculty. So I stand before you as a humble servant, but someone who, while may not take myself seriously, I take my work seriously, and I take the work that we do, which is service to our community and service to our students, very seriously. So I want to welcome you all back. We're back at Laney. I was here, what was it, in August? And it seems I can't shake this place. I try to get away. I keep coming back to Laney. Do we do this every flex days at Laney? No. Only just because since I bicycle, they keep it short, so I come from the district here. So welcome back, and I hope you all had a great break. I hope you all had a vacation. And I too had a vacation. You know, when I came here in August, I had transitioned from my job in Santa Maria. I didn't take a vacation. I just moved and started as chancellor. So I kind of, 6 months at Peralta, I really needed a vacation, so I took the opportunity to go visit my family in Puerto Rico. I had a great time, and if you can see what I'm wearing, there's, I'm wearing a San Francisco Giant cap. No, wait, no, we're in Oakland, right? So I need to explain this, all right? I need to explain this because to me, that's a fashion statement. You can see that there's a combination of orange and all of that, right? So being Puerto Rican, I'm very fashion conscious, right? And I come from what I call the Fernando Lama school of thought. I don't know how many of you, I know some of you are old enough to remember Fernando Lama. But Fernando Lama, for those of you who don't know, is well, he's passed years ago, but he was a former Hollywood star from Argentina. And he was always impeccably dressed. And one time he was on the Johnny Carson show. I don't know how many of you remember Johnny Carson, but he was on the Johnny Carson show and not feeling too well. And Johnny says to Fernando, says, you know, for a guy who's not feeling well, you're dressed like tops. And he says, well, you know, Johnny, I'd rather look good than feel good. So I make sure I try to look good. And in Puerto Rico, that was my view. Okay, so move on, Jeff. Before I get started with my remarks, I want to introduce some special folks. Saigalasa is here and gone, but he's the president of our board, and I want to thank him for being with us today. I saw earlier today Trustee Bill Riley. Bill, are you still here? There you are. Thank you very much for being here. Bill Riley, give him a hand, please. And then I just want to briefly introduce some individuals that I think it's important for you to get to know. This past month, the board approved the hiring of 2 new presidents. First, Debbie Budd, who I think is here somewhere. She's now the president of Berkeley City College. And now, of course, we all know Debbie. She's been in and out of colleges and district office, I don't know for how long. But Debbie, congratulations, and thank you for taking on this very important role. And then I want to also introduce to you our new president for Merritt College, Norma Ambris Galaviz, which is right here. And if you want to hear more from Norma, you'll have to go to Merritt College tomorrow as they do their Flex Day. One last introduction I want to make is our new foundation director, Romeo Garcia, who I think is right here. Romeo, stand up. Now, of course, I'm jealous of Romeo because he's got more hair than he can handle. And thank you for being here. Yes, I see that. Yes, the beach. I remember the beach. You will recall when I was here in the fall, I gave you a brief assessment of what I thought were the issues facing Peralta. I called it at the time the burning imperatives. And I want to give you a little update on where we are on some of those burning imperatives. First is the accreditation. As you know, the Peralta colleges, not the district, but the colleges, are on a warning status with the Accreditation Commission. We've been asked to submit progress reports on 4 recommendations, 3 of which have to do with some of the district functions and board functions. But then recommendation number 5 has to do with the work at the colleges. We are submitting a report. We're preparing a report to be submitted March 15th. At this time, all of the recommendations have been addressed in draft form. You will be, if you haven't already, be seeing your institution's report very soon. That includes, like as I said, recommendations 2 and 3, which have to do with district auditing and reconciling some of the findings that the commission felt we needed to address. I want to thank Ron Gerhardt and his staff for the great work they've done in working through those findings. And then we also have a recommendation with regards to our board policies. And those of you who may have been paying attention to what goes on at board meetings, you know that probably every other meeting for the last year has recommendations for new board policies. And that, in fact, is an enormous, not only an enormous undertaking, but of keen interest to the commission that our Board of Trustees do their work of policy making and separate the administration of the district and let that be the work of the chancellor and the administrative staff. And I think that the Peralta colleges and the district office and the Board of Trustees are on the right path to making that distinction between policy and administration. And quite frankly, that's one of the reasons I'm here. Finally, the 5th recommendation, which has to do with the colleges addressing the financial burden of reductions in the last couple of years, how the colleges are addressing those reductions, and in view of some of our new revenues, how the colleges are going to be implementing and changing and restoring some of the cuts that they've experienced in the last several years. And from what I've read in those draft reports, I believe that the colleges are doing not only good work with the reports, but I like to think that by this time, and next time the commission takes a look at these reports, we can go beyond the sanctions and get back to the work in hand, which is the teaching and learning of our students. But keep in mind that no matter how much we do, how hard we work, and you did work hard, because this is a faculty and staff and administrative undertaking. We don't control the commission. And I've said this to the Board of Trustees. We're doing the best we can to provide the report that reflects the reality of what we are here at the colleges. But then the commission, in its wisdom, makes a determination on whether or not the progress that we've made is sufficient for them to grant us a full accreditation, and again, so that we can continue the good work that we do here at the colleges. So I want to thank you all who participated in the accreditation process, but quite frankly, all of you participate, whether you had a hand in it or not. Just the fact that you are part of our faculty and staff means that you are part of the accreditation process. And win or lose, we're all in this together, so I want to thank you for being part of it. The next burning imperative is, I know Jeff is out there somewhere. Hello, Jeff. Jeff. Oh, look, we're going backwards. You know, Jeff wanted me to have some humor in this presentation. I couldn't come up with any jokes. So this is it. This is his way of making me look like a fool. So anyway, Goldberg, I know you're behind all of this. Oh, okay, it's getting better. Okay, so let's forget this. But let me talk about the burning imperatives. The next one is finance. As I mentioned back in August, finance is certainly an issue for us. At the time, we did pass a parcel tax, but at the time, we also had budgeted the 12-13 fiscal year, not counting on Prop 30. Yeah, let's give Jeff a hand, everybody. Yeah. We had budgeted not counting on Prop 30, We knew at the time, of course, we had Measure B, which is the parcel tax, so we had incorporated that. But for the fiscal year, we actually had budgeted for a 15% reduction. Well, as has been mentioned here several times already, with the passage of Prop 30, with our parcel tax, we are now positioned as a district, and certainly the colleges, to restore all of that 15% reduction from last year. So you can expect to be having that discussion with your budget committees or however well you handle that at the college level, but we are working with the presidents to restore 15% of your budget that was reduced this year. We are also, as Matt mentioned, looking at hiring at least 20 new faculty. I will let you know that I'm contemplating hiring another 20. Another 20 faculty in the coming years. Now, keep in mind, we can't bring them all in at the same time. We don't have enough faculty to be on committees to do these things. But we do want to shore up our faculty ranks and quite frankly, also our classified ranks in the fashion that we can with the monies that we have. It's important for us. Just so you know, certainly the administration recognizes the need for full-time faculty and how that full-time faculty serves our students so that they are successful, because in the end, it's all about their success. As you know, we are also expanding our offerings. Certainly for the spring, we're adding about 200 sections to our offerings, our class schedule. Unfortunately, from what I see in our enrollment numbers, the classes are not filling the way we were hoping. One of the caveats to Proposition 30 is that there's an expectation that we grow and we meet a ceiling of an additional, like I said, those 200 sections, which could translate into about 700 FTES. Right now, we are chasing that FTES. It's funny, I was talking to Joseph a little earlier, and once again, we are in that cyclical pattern where we go from cuts to chasing FTES, and then in the next couple of years, who knows when the budget goes south on us, we cut again, and that's certainly been my experience in the last 25 years here in California. And it's not pleasant, but at least for me, I'm starting to get used to it, so I know what to do. But the best part of this era is that we are restoring, that we are getting new revenues, and I hope that you all take advantage of that, not only in your teaching, but certainly also in learning. The next burning imperative, let's see if we get this one, is technology. And at the time, when I got here, I learned that the technology that we were facing, interestingly enough to me, was worse off in 2012 than we were in 2002 when I arrived here at the Peralta colleges. There's lots of reasons for that. You know, we've migrated, or we're trying to migrate into this PeopleSoft system platform. Last couple of years have been pretty chaotic, as you well know, but we have since this semester hired a new associate vice chancellor for information technology, and I wanted to introduce him. I don't know if we've met him yet. Calvin Madlock, he's here. Calvin's here. Stand up. Thank you, Calvin. I think Calvin's from Mississippi. Is that right? No. But we gotta be truthful here. Now, Calvin told me he's from Mississippi, and and someone told me that half the population of Mississippi moved to California, raising the IQ of both states. What do you think of that, Marie? No, no. Marie, are you cold? Are you freezing? Is it cold in here? Oh, okay. Anyway, Calvin and his staff are making huge strides in trying to stabilize our technology. Clearly, we're not there. It is a slow process, but to me, the signs of progress, hopefully I'm going to see them next week when the passport does not crash. And we're just moving in lots of arenas, and I'll ask you to be patient with the administration of the district, but I am confident that we can get in the right people working on our technology. Calvin has been shorthanded and slowly but surely bringing in new staff that he feels are the right people to get us on the right track with PeopleSoft. And I know that lots of you are concerned about the technology and how it assisted in our financial aid. Our financial aid technology is still not quite there, but thanks to, again, some of our new talent in financial aid, we've been able to streamline some processes. We are processing applications faster. Students are getting their financial aid actually at the beginning of the semester as opposed to the end, believe it or not. And so again, there's progress in that arena, and I want to recognize all of the folks, both administrators, classified staff, and even students who have tolerated our challenges with financial aid as we work to make improvements. I don't want to go back in time to what we call the bad old days of Peralta, but for many years, not only during the time I was here, but even when I was away, there was always this perennial question about Peralta in terms of what is wrong with Peralta. And I tell you that as a colleague and as someone who not only has worked here, but worked at other institutions around the state. And the Peralta reputation does filter out around the state. And when I ask folks around here what's wrong with Peralta, it is invariably that people talk about the lack of integrity, the lack of accountability. And I want to share with you today, and I talked about this in August. I am a disciple of the Four Agreements. The Four Agreements by Michael Ruiz. It talks about being impeccable with your word, not taking things personally, not making assumptions, and then finally doing the best job you can. That to me is part and parcel to integrity and accountability. And this is going to be my mission in this institution during my tenure, that we have integrity and accountability. But hear me, it's not just about administrators or the administration. Integrity and accountability is about all of us, whether you are a teacher in the classroom or classified staff or a technician, or even a student, and certainly administrators. We all must represent integrity and accountability. And accountability is not just about placing blame. It really is, if you look at it in a positive light, it's about assuring that what we do is doing the right thing and doing things right. So if you look at it from a forward perspective, it's not just looking back and saying, I take the blame for something went wrong, but rather, I'm looking at doing the right thing and doing things right. And of course, when we do the right thing and we do things right, who benefits? our students. And that's what I think is going to turn the Peralta colleges and the Peralta reputation around, when we do the right thing and do things right. And that's going to be my mantra as long as I'm chancellor here, which may or may not be a long time, I don't know. But I assure you that I want to live by that, and I will be making efforts. It's not just talk. I will be implementing some professional development activities for all of us to understand that customer service is what we do, and customer service requires integrity and accountability. I'm probably out of time, right? It's like I told you, when I got up here, I knew you have already heard too much. And, Psychology up here, Matt took half my time, and, all of that. And I think it's a conspiracy, actually. But I'm going to then fast forward. I want to share with you that you recall I did a survey this past fall. I sent out a survey to all faculty and staff and even students. And I asked pertinent questions about what's good about Peralta, what needs to be improved at Peralta. Jeff, you could kind of go through the next slides. This quickly. If I saw the word diversity once, I saw it 1,000 times in the survey, right? So we all value diversity, but it's not just about ethnicity. Obviously, it's diversity of ideas, the diversity of our religious belief, our sexual orientation, whatever it is. Peralta Colleges is a microcosm of the East Bay area, and sounds to me like you're proud of that. And that's the good thing, so we should take advantage of that. And of course, we're also proud of who we are as people, as colleagues. The surveys clearly indicated that we recognize our passion, we recognize our commitment for our students. It's just amazing how, despite some of our struggles, you all recognize that what goes on in the classroom is top-notch, and we value it. We value the teaching and learning. And earlier, I think it was Tamika mentioned the workshops coming up, Jeff, why don't you go on to the next slide? Where are we? Well, let's not go there. But Tamika mentioned some of the workshops this afternoon, and one of the things that came out in the survey is that you, faculty and staff, really want to see innovation and progress in what we do in the classroom and in our colleges. Well, the efforts that are being fostered by our faculty in accelerated learning, in contextual learning. We have Fabian here going into the MOOC arena, which is scary for me because he interviewed me, so that makes me nervous. But you are into the innovation, and that innovation, of course, translates to our student success. That's what we're about. But we do have problems. We have problems with bureaucracy, problems with process and procedures. We have some questionable integrity. And the message that it came across to me is that you want me to change the culture. Now, when I read that, I'm thinking, what culture are we talking about? Because it's not about me, it's about us. So back to integrity and accountability, we must change this culture to be accountable and responsible so that we are impeccable with our word and doing the best job we can. All of that is available in a report that I will be putting on the web, and it's probably going to come out of Jeff's office. We'll put it out in an announcement. I have a compilation of our survey, and you get an opportunity to see remarks. It's all anonymous, But I think it's important for you to take a look at that survey so you know that what it is that I know that you want. And Matt, I think it was Carolyn, talked about change. Carolyn, where are you? Talked about change. Well, there's a problem we have. Change in higher education is like rearranging a cemetery. So it's going to take some time. But again, it's not just me, it's all of us. And if we can work together for that change, it's going to help all of our students. So thank you very much. We're now, what's the next slide, Jeff? There you go. What's the next slide, Jeff? Now you see this guy right here? Now tell me one thing. If you're a guy like that, where do you jump, in the ocean or in the Laney pool? Thank you very much, everyone.
Now give it up for my this job. Now give it up.